we're getting on, seeing what trouble we can get into on this fine Saturday morning or afternoon. Let's see if we have let's see. We got one person watching. Let's see if we've got some audio. Okay, we're still getting comments about the audio being low. Let's see. Is that making any difference? So, you know, I was reading up and it said that if you turn the volume up all the way on your phone, it should be at, you know, a decent level. So, let's see. Plexico says they need the blue paisley, please. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get the blue paisley real quick, even though I have the old handy dandy broadcaster here. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. Blue paisley. We got to plug it in. I hear you. Happy Memorial Day. Let's tune this thing up. We got our blue paisley out. And I guess, you know, I'll answer some blue paisley questions if you have some. All right. So yes, this is for you, Plexico. So yes, you got some blue paisley action. All right. So yeah. So got Tristan the artist. He built his own paisley telly. Nice. What I'm guessing? What shade of paisley was it? Blue, pink? You know, yeah. You gotta tell us. Yes, it is. It's a great guitar, and of course, you know, Fender launched the '67, and they sold out, you know, quite quickly. And yeah, we're hoping they do another run and maybe one at a lower price point. So at some point, but yeah. Nick said, how do you make the neck pickup not muddy and the bridge pickup not too high, mid-rangey on a telly? So depending on the guitar, I will wire it to where the tone control is not connected to the neck pickup. And on this one, it is connected because this neck pickup is kind of bright enough. Yeah, a lot of times I will wire it to where the tone control is only on the bridge pickup, and that way I can kind of set the amp for the neck pickup, and then when I go to the bridge pickup, then I can just darken it some. So, yeah, let's see. Kristen says, it was like yours, the ambered off pink paisley with goldish edges. Nice. Nick rambles, awesome. That's good. Good trick. Gabe says, will anyone be selling the new cling foil? I want some. I think it's only going to be sold on guitars. So, yeah, yeah. So there'll be, there might be other colors of paisley, coming out at some point. So that's all I can say for now. And we probably won't be selling. Yeah, I can guarantee you, we won't be selling cling foil in any time soon. So it's to go on guitars at this point. So let's see. Ever play alternate tunings? Alternate tunings are really cool. Of course, I'd drop the low E string down to D, all the time. And then another tuning I like is one that I stole from John Leventhal. It's where you tune this string down to C and this string, the A string, down to G. And so basically your high 4 strings are the same and just these two are different. And it gives you a lot of different sounds. In fact, I'll just show you right here. Let's see if I can do this on a electric guitar. Okay. So it kind of gives you almost into the baritone range when you hit that low C. Let's see. So still getting comment, any chance you can turn up your mic? So I'm just using my iPhone today to do this live stream. And part of this was not a planned live stream. It was more about testing because I'd read up and said that if you turned up the volume all the way on your iPhone, it was supposed to increase the output, and that's what I was testing. It looks like it's not doing that. The only other thing I can try is maybe it has to do with using the fact that I'm using an outboard microphone. So yeah, so I'm gonna unplug this microphone and see if anything improves at all. Hopefully that didn't cause a bunch of clicking and stuff. So now we just have, the mic that's on the phone itself. Do we have any better, output? You can tell me. Okay, so we get Let's Ghost saying, now we have lots of room reverb. So that was the concern, is that now you're going to get a lot of room sound because obviously I'm not using a mic that's close up to my mouth. So, okay, and Trey Rivers saying it's better with the off-board mic. Again, this is like a test live stream, so I'm not going to put this live or have it where you can watch it afterward. This is really a test and just trying to have a little fun. So I'm going to plug the microphone back in, and then I'm going to have to think of some other other possibilities as far as fixing this little issue. I'm going to have to bring in a video camera with me and a microphone and such, and get away from the old, because I got away with using an iPhone for a long time. Yeah. So here we are back to the, we're back to the little microphone I have here. Let's see, about the same volume, yeah. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to, Joseph says he likes the live room sound. And he said, let's see, sounds good. Clip-on mic sounded better without guitar sounds more present. Too bad the YouTube app doesn't have a gain knob. You're right. Yeah, it's too bad it doesn't have a gain knob. So I'm also looking at other, you know, like there's different apps called like, I think Riverside is one of them, and just some different streaming apps so that I can, you know, do a better job of doing this for you guys. So this was a test, but I'll, oh, you know, I don't want to, you know, don't want to harass you guys with a volume that's too low or anything like that. So, all right, let's see. Victory House says, I was about to pay my deposit on a lost paisley until I saw it had 67 Clusons and not F. You're see in 67, the first half of the year is Clusons, and the second half of the year is F tuners, and so that's, we wanted it to have Clusons on there. So, you know, no, it's supposed to have Clusons, not F tuners. So, you know, it's late 67, and we were doing a transition logo. If we wanted F tuners, we would have done a black CBS logo. So, no, that is very much on purpose. Yeah. I might have to try some a little, you know, boom mic or some other things, but anywho, yeah. So I'll stay on for a little bit longer. Again, this is a test live stream. I'm gonna get the broadcaster back out because of course I retuned the blue paisley to where it was I had tuned down to a low C and a low G, and you know. Yes, keep me from mowing. Yeah, I did the yard work earlier. Yes, Joseph Capper says F tuners also go with a urethane neck. Yeah, and we wanted to do nitro, so yeah, we didn't do F tuners and the big CBS logo on the blue paisley, and that was on purpose. Well, thank you, Luke. Thank you for the boom mic fund. Yes, yes. Sean Hillsop says, "Hey Zach, what is your favorite acoustic guitar to play?" Okay, well I'm gonna pull it out then. This is actually gonna be a future episode. So this is my 1981 HD28, and I recently did a bunch of work on it, and I'm really happy with it. Yeah, so this is my you know, favorite acoustic. I've owned it since 1993, and did it really needed a bunch of work. It needed, you know, new frets and all sorts of stuff. So I filmed an episode with it describing everything that was done to it, and it's really a great old, you know, Martin. Obviously, it's not a real, you know, herringbone, you know, from the 30s or 40s, but you know, we did as much upgrading to it as we could, you know, within reason, you know, trying to make it sound. Harvard says, "Oh, well, Luke, that's very kind. Yeah, you know, I have some guitars that are like tennis rackets, but yeah, I'd try to make things sound good. Yeah, I tried. So thank you." Harvard says, "How is your string action on your tellies?" Low-ish. As I've gotten, you know, I've talked about in the past, and I don't want to go a lot into it, but you know, I've had issues with arthritis in the past. But since then, my hands, especially my left hand, has gotten a lot stronger. I've been taking better care of it, and I've been playing more acoustic guitar and such. And so, I've you know, so I have some guitars that have 9.5, some guitars that have 10s on them as far as electrics, and then some of them I have higher action than others and such. And so a lot of times when I go out on the road, I'll take a guitar with low action and I'll take a guitar with kind of medium action. And it just depends on how I feel, and also if I'm wanting to play slide or something like that. And I'll kind of go back and forth. And what kind of tune you're doing. If it's like a fast song where I'm going to be having to do a lot of chicken picking, you know, fast runs and things like that, then I'll certainly play the one with the low action. Yeah, somebody noticed the Batmobile, so that was a Christmas present from my dear mama. Yeah, and I finally put it together. It had been sitting here in my office for a couple of months, and I just hadn't had time to slow down. It's one of the bigger sets that Lego makes, and I really like it. It's a lot of fun because I grew up watching the old Batman TV show with Adam West and Burt Ward, and loved Batman and Robin. Loved the theme song, and loved, you know, Batgirl and, you know, Catwoman, and you know, all the stuff that confuses you as a little kid, and Wonder Woman. So, but anyway, yeah, I love the Batmobile. Thanks for noticing. It's kind of blocking Steve Cropper's picture, so I know he's probably wants it to move, but you know. See, Sean says, oh, Sean has a 2016 HD28, and says he's been looking at J45s, which are a great alternative because it's a, you know, of course, mahogany back and sides instrument instead of a, you know, a rosewood dreadnought. Marco's right. Yeah, Batman was kind of stoner television. I mean, it was like, you know, those weird cockeyed camera angles when the bad guys were on the screen, and all the crazy stuff. What amp am I using? I'm always using almost always using my Headstrong Little King amp, and obviously not with the acoustic, but you know, with the old, you know, broadcaster, and huge fan of this thing. So you go back to, I use different picks depending on what I'm playing, you know. So when I'm playing acoustic, I usually use a heavy and a bigger thing. Like sometimes I'll use like a blue chip, and sometimes I just use a regular old Fender heavy. A lot of times when playing electric, I've got these little jazz picks that are heavy that I get from Pick Boy. And I like these a lot. I've been, you know, I kind of go through phases with picks where I like different things. Here's the neck pickup on the... So, yeah, love... yeah, this is a fun guitar. It's got a Seymour Duncan Antiquity in the neck here, which is what we're hearing right now. Even though you see the switch is in the middle position, but this is the old wiring the broadcaster wiring where, and of course I modified the first one, but this is just the neck pickup by itself. And I really like, I think the Seymour Duncan Antiquity neck pickup, I think it's just a great fat, good neck pickup sound. And a lot of times I buy them used off Reverb just to, not to be cheap, but it's kind of like, you know, when you can buy a used neck pickup for $100 or something like that, it's kind of nice to save a little money. And then the bridge pickup is one of those rare things. Looks like we might have reset. The bridge pickup is an old Peter Florence broadcaster, and it's one of his lower winds on that, because some of them were pretty high, and this one's like 8K, so, but it's nice. Pound the Drum says he enjoyed the 9.5 string episode. Yeah, I love them, love them, love them, love them. Let's see. Do you have any favorite overdrive pedals that pair with your favorite amp? Absolutely. I love the Mostortion, the old Ibanez Mostortion, and then there's a lot of good copies. My favorite copy, I have two favorite copies. One is the Karma. That one's really good, and it's true bypass, and it's smaller. But there's a one made by a company, I think they're in, I can't remember if they're in Singapore or Malaysia, but they're called it's called a Sawdust, and it's quite a bit more expensive, but it's kind of a dead nuts copy, and it's not true bypass like the original, and so it actually is closer to the original pedal, but it's not true bypass. It all depends on what you want out of the pedal. But I've been using the Sawdust, or I'll use the Karma, or I'll use an original Mostortion. But I'm not really a big Overdrive fan, if you can't tell. Like in my show, I rarely use Overdrive ever. And that's just, I just prefer clean guitar. I've just always enjoyed clean guitar better, more. And so I only use Overdrive when I have to. And so, but 98% of the time it's an old Mostortion or copy of that. Yes, thanks. Let's see. The only Batman I've watched is when Keith Richards used his telly on an Unruly fan. That's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, been a while since I reached out. Billy Johnson, Billy Walker. Yeah, send me a picture of your 51 Nocaster. Yeah, my email is zach@askzach.com. Oh, that's AWOL is asking some good questions. Yes, so what's really the culprit here, what you're talking about with the truss rod plug, is that this carve has changed a lot, and that makes it look different, and that makes the plug, the shape of it different. So at certain times they dished out a lot here, and then sometimes it's angled differently. And so depending on how this dish is, hopefully you can see that, you know, right after the nut, that's going to affect how the little plug on the headstock is shaped. And so, yes, you're correct. You get the most variation in early broadcaster, Nocaster, Telecasters, and until they kind of got things more standardized and we're using a little more standardized equipment. So, I mean, you don't see that kind of variation in a 68 telly or even a 63 telly, but early 50s, you know, broadcaster, Nocaster, Telecasters, you get a fair amount of variation in this area, and then what how the plug is shaped. So yeah, that'd be a good idea for a video, AWOL. What are some good Eldon Shamblin Western swing chords and rhythms? Oh, the guitar player for Sleep at the Wheel, why can't I remember? Ray Benson. Ray Benson did a whole video on Western swing rhythm guitar, and where basically he's showing off Eldon Shamblin type moves. And probably one of the most basic things I showed in my Eldon Shamblin video, where I took the song Ida Red, which is basically a one chord tune. So you start, you know, like, always have trouble with this. So that's where, you know, the great thing about Eldon Shamblin was he had these wonderful walking bass lines, and it had to do with weak bass players in Bob Will's band, and the fact that, you know, there were no electric basses and such. So, you know, the electric guitar could get louder than the upright bass could. So he would do those things with a strong downstroke on that bass note. And so, you know, so a little Eldon Shamblin talk. Let's see. Waylon Jennings or Merle Haggard Teletone. Well, I mean, if you include Merle Haggard's guitar player Roy Nichols, then I'm going to go with him. If you're talking about the artists themselves, then I'd go with Waylon Jennings' tone. Merle's tone could sometimes be, you know, really dirty and fuzzy at times. It was interesting hearing him, but at times I really liked Merle's tone too. So let's go. It says, do you play out regularly in Nashville? No, I don't. I'll do some kind of acoustic duo thing with my buddy Austin every once in a while, but I'm more likely it would be like a demo session, recording session, which I don't do a ton of those things. I actually did more recording this month than I have in a while, but I usually do shows out and about. Like I'm going to go do some shows in Stockton, Missouri in like mid-June. So, yeah. Let's see. Hello from Norway. Hello, Robert. Divided by Time Studios. I have a Fender Ultra Tele noiseless pickups. If you suggested pickups, what would you say? I dig rock tones, but you know, always, you know, those kind of upgraded high-tech teles like the Ultras and stuff, I think they're set up really well with good electronics and everything. I don't know that I highly recommend changing stuff on that. And I don't know, I'd almost get another guitar like a Road Worn or something like that to mess around with different pickups or something. So, you know, because usually those Ultra teles have pretty sophisticated wiring, and they have, you know, maybe they have a little button that's on that works as part of the tone knob and other things. So, oh, and then Joseph Capra says, who owns Eldon Strat now? And the last thing I knew